UK is recognizing privately issued currencies by fintech. That is huge. And at the same time, Judy Shelton reaching the Fed. The age of digital gold is near. Why are these so important for us? Because if you look at this issue, XRP is designed as a bridge or vehicle currency, and it will play a huge role in the forex market as we understand. And the UK accounts for 43% of that giant 5 trillion a day market, forex market, right? While this is happening, Ripple is moving huge amount of XRP using its ODL partners in Europe and Japan. You have to actually see these moves as huge moves. Why? Because these are all connected. And this one, it was always about XRP. Do you see what is being constructed? If you can't, please do read through all of the documents which we put on our video's description, the further reading section. It will give you more and more insights so that you can think and take decisive action. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, you can use the PayPal, Patreon or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Patreon will allow you to get more value for your portfolio because most of the portfolios have more assets than XRP. And if you would like to align your portfolio more with other assets, you can use Patreon. Now, looking at all of this, we'll first go through the chart analysis first. Bitcoin is showing huge bulls. Those bullish candles, now this is on a 3-day chart, so the fluctuation will seem a little bit reduced here, but look at the positiveness starting from early October, and it's been moving towards that direction from that time. We came through multiple resistance, and I previously expected that we would be having a little bit more resistance at 14k, but we only lagged a little. Now on a daily you can see it lagged there, but on a 3-day chart you can see that it's still pumping to the upside. So now from this point towards the next high, which would be around 17,600 17,700 as a resistance, you can look at that move. So that is another $1,500 move in Bitcoin, and soon it's going to reach its all-time high, which we are all waiting for. Why? Because last time in the history, if you look back, you can easily understand that altcoins started pumping after Bitcoin reached its all-time highs. When investors start taking profit, they start moving it into other assets. And Ethereum chart shows you something similar but a little bit different. If you look at here on Bitcoin, you can see that it touched here once, came back there and then broke above that. But right now for Ethereum, it hasn't broken that level yet. If you zoom in, you can see a similar trend, but we are about to break that. So if it does follow Bitcoin, it would be soon reaching around $780 to $830 per Ethereum. So that's a huge move there itself. And if you look back in history, you can understand always in the last bull run, it used to be like, say, when Ethereum was $400, XRP used to be 0.4, 0.5. Then when Ethereum is 0.8, XRP used to be 0.75 to $1. So the fluctuation in that comparison gives you an easy symbol that this is undervalued. With all these value being created by the company itself, plotting the on-demand liquidity corridor across the world, and now they are using it, the value of that asset is huge, whereas the price is so low. And as an investor, I'm excited to see such an opportunity to jump in, because by the time it reaches its near resistance zone, it would be around 30% gain. Then the next target is like 100% from this price point. So this movement is not such small. So as I told, if you're comparing it with Ethereum, by the time Ethereum reaches $750 to $830, say $800, I expect XRP to reach around $0.5 to $0.7 quickly. And then from there, lead even further. That's what I personally see. And XRP has always done that. Surprise you, impulsive blast to the upside. And when it goes to the downside, yeah, as well, to the downside as well, it surprises a lot of us, including me, you, and a lot of huge, highly experienced traders. But with these fundamentals, which we can see, it's clear that we are going to rock on from this moment. Just listen to this. That really feels so interesting. So, exhilarating. It's like, we waited for a lot of stuff like this, and now day by day, week by week, we are getting those clarity.
So the second part of our new financial chapter for financial services will use technology to deliver better outcomes for consumers and businesses. So we are building on our existing strengths as a leading global destination to start, grow, and invest in fintech. And
at that point, Rishi is highlighting that they are working on a new financial system, a new chapter about the financial system, and they ends with working with, partnering with fintechs. Does that sound familiar to you guys? I don't want to speculate much, but based on all the documents which we read through and discussed through from the Bank of England, it kind of gives you that understanding clearly where it is leading through. The pilot, the experimental projects done with Bank of England, Ripple and all highlights you towards that. Now, yes, when they say fintech, there are a lot of fintech with which they have worked. But not every fintech has the factors which they are mentioning from here on.
I look forward to welcoming Ron Khalifa's report in this important area. We're staying at the cutting edge of payments technologies, where we've just concluded the first stage of our payment landscapes review and will shortly publish new plans to support the sector. And by making sure our regulatory environment is ready to manage the far-reaching implications of technology on money itself.
So continuing from the first point, which he highlighted, was clearly highlighting we are preparing a new chapter in the financial services. We are partnering with fintechs. Okay, cool. And then what is it actually about? It's about the payments. It's about the cutting edge payment technology, the state of the art technology. And what are they trying to do? Provide them with the regulatory clarity which they need. They don't want to keep that uncertainty there because they understand anyway the economy is being bashed by the health crisis. Now they are looking forward to invite more investors into this arena because even giants are moving into payments. They understand this is a huge market. So that is huge. Now listen to the next one.
We'll publish a consultation shortly to make new forms of privately issued currencies, known as stablecoins, meet the same high standards we expect of other payment methods. And the Bank of England and the Treasury are considering further if central banks can issue their own digital currencies as a complement to cash. Finally, Mr. Speaker, this new chapter means putting the...
So in this new chapter of finance, for the cutting edge payments, they are looking forward for the central bank digital currencies as well, which will need a bridge currency. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be so cool there. Privately issued digital currencies. Wow. Then the digital money or the new money. Fintech. These are all the keywords which you really have to concentrate because on the other side, Judy Shelton have previously highlighted going back to a gold standard. Okay, but in a cryptocurrency way. Now we went through that in depth in our channel, going through all the historic speeches made by Judy Shelton, the key points from that, the takeaways for us who are invested in XRP, me, you, and others who are looking forward to understand the value of this asset so that we can accumulate at these low prices and expect the price to reach that level of value. Someday, sometime, it's going to reach or match or even surpass the value. I mean, the price would match or surpass the value. In the morning, my tongue is a little bit slippery. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, let's move on and then look at this. We understood that it is a huge market, but considering UK stands huge on Forex. And that is why when you get these kind of regulatory clarity first from UK than US, it's going to be huge. Because Ripple, the company, has already highlighted UK is coming up with a bit more clear regulations than US. UK is trying as much as possible to push in and give that regulatory clarity which these organizations require, so that investors will come in, new companies will come in. Then about this infrastructure, more developers will come into that nation and build. If you look at a computer, this is the infrastructure. Unless you had that computer, you don't need Mac, Windows or Linux or any other operating system. Now, once you have that operating system, now you have, say, Chrome, Brave, Opera, all those browsers in one side, games in other side, and all those different applications which you regularly use in your system. And this is the same thing. Building that infrastructure takes time. But once that infrastructure is done, look at XRP Ledger. How XRP team is producing more and more applications above it. So the infrastructure is being laid out, and at the same time, applications are developed above that. And that's life-changing, because they are not waiting for the infrastructure to be laid out completely and then come in and roll out the applications. No, they are not doing that. Instead, they're pushing this as far as possible. And that is when this tweet from Michael highlights this one kind of. It is huge. 45 million XRP wired through its on-demand liquidity corridor via Europe, Japan. So the movement is huge. And if you look, it really becomes huge when you are looking at these corridors where, MoneyGram is collaborating with Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform. So it's used for solving real pain points in the real world. And the tweet from Wrath of Man kind of gives you that perspective. It was never about other things. Coda Settler was never about Swift. It was always about SBI. Now we see the Coda coin or S coins and XRP remittance brought together under MoneyTap. Now that is something really huge to understand. When you say, you have to see other network, you have to see this framework. Everything is laid upon the infrastructure provided by XRP Ledger connected with the Interledger protocol. So that's going to be life-changing in the sense if you are ready to wait. Say, for example, I saw this tweet from XRP Crypto Quebec, and it's cool that we understand these. This a little bit old, but still you have to understand, it's a bit positive. But what I would like to highlight at the same time is, don't just get so overwhelmed with this. Why? That happened back in 2016, and now in 2020, we still say, Ripple, the company still say, we don't have that regulatory clarity. Why do they say that? Recently, Brad Garlinghouse clarified that, meaning you have 4 or 5 regulators, each of them considers this asset as different items. Say one is looking at it as virtual currency, another one looking at digital assets, another one looking at virtual currency. So virtual currency, digital assets, stable coins, they're all confused within themselves, and they are trying to give regulations they own. So 4 or 5 institutions coming out with different regulations, it makes it really hard. And that's why the regulations coming from UK and what we see in Europe are all cool. And eventually, US will also have to do the same. And this from Bloomberg highlights Christine Lagarde is always cool with, previously when she was in IMF, she used to name Ripple, Circle. They clearly understood what Ripple, the company, stands for, and the cryptocurrency arena at that time. Because she was the one who stated cryptocurrencies are shaking the system. And you can see it was being shaked, new financial infrastructure was being laid, and they are all moving in to their digital currency, which is the central bank digital currency. Now, why is the regulation so important? When we as investors look at the price and say, no, these regulators are kind of, really slow. Yeah, I do tend to be in that arena when I look at the price, and when I look at the value being created, I look at the regulators, these kind of dash, dash, dash are really dash, dash, dash. Ting, ting, ting. I just erased those words from, it's okay. Anyway, looking at this, it's clearly understood there are illegal activities happening, but It's not happening with Ripple, the company. Anyway, they are partnered with regulated institutions. The endpoints where one transaction is starting and ending is a regulated financial institutions, unlike, say BTC and others. So when you look at the around the table, say here Europe is coming out with digital currency, and one end they are pushing as much money as possible into the economy. And here you see Egypt cutting interest rate again. Why are they doing that? Because they understand clearly that the economy is going down deep waters if they don't do. Now, it's not only the case with one nation. Most of the country around the world are experiencing that. And then, PayPal comes out with this one. It's not actually cool for us XRP holders, but as we look at the general crypto market, it's another step towards adoption. You can say it kind of, can buy and store it there, like, it's a third party custodian for you. I don't think as of now they have any options to trade or even send it between wallets. So, you can just consider it as another step, at least a small step, a tiny step towards the adoption rate. It may move in more money, but as a custodian, PayPal would be handling those. Now, this one shows, if you are positive or negative. SEC already clarified Ethereum was not a security, and right now, I don't even understand how these leaders are, they don't think in a positive manner, they don't think in the correct manner. If they want to classify an asset as a security, commodity, or anything, they first have to study all the factors associated with that asset. Here, these guys are not taking their own time to do that. Either they don't understand the technology, or they are not. If they don't understand the technology first, they need to get help. If they don't, just don't make these stupid judgments, right? But they are obviously doing that, because at the same time, you have to understand these kind of judgments has to be made properly, because when they are rolling out their digital dollar, it has to be laid out into an infrastructure where it is completely interoperable with the actual infrastructure. Now, for me, that infrastructure would be IntelliLedger protocol combined with the XRP ledger. And that's why I say when I see digital dollar, digital yuan, digital euro, everything coming out, I'm so excited. But yes, the governments are a little bit slow. So by the time they roll these out, either there can be issues, because one side they're looking at the economy, they're trying to push the economy by printing more. But on the other side, investors are slowly moving towards the crypto asset, and precisely they are moving into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yes, that's the truth. Why? Because they haven't given clarity for other assets. Regulations are still confusing. So in the meantime, governments may come in. Now, yes, they can't directly go in and block the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, but what they can do is organization accepting that in US, Europe, or any other jurisdiction, they can ban them if they handle that particular financial product. But still, it would be available, like, the dark market, that kind of dark web kind of thing. It would still be available there, but the adoption rate would be, kind of kicked down the water. It will just be flushed, but they are currently looking to gain as much money as possible. They're looking at all of those illegal stuff. And yeah, it's not just illegal stuff here in Bitcoin, because now institutional investors are moving in. And it's not only the retail and institutional guys. Governments are thinking about this. Sovereign governments, instead of holding gold, they are putting their money into Bitcoin. We went through that previously, right? So these kind of news are really exciting. But you have to understand, in long term, the value will be reflecting in the price, and the value of an asset is decided by its use case. So for me, I stand with the asset for which the price is so low right now and the value is so huge. Now it's up to you which asset you choose, whether an asset which is reaching its all-time high, or an asset it has already went half of that, and if it just pumps around 200%, it reaches its all-time highs. Would you choose 200%, 20% here for Bitcoin, 200% here for Ethereum, or the huge run for XRP? Now that's completely up to you, right? But for me, it's clear. I've chosen my horse for this race. I hope you received value for your time, and if it did, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.